Now I want to add in a tile map so that we can give a background to our level and start designing some sort of level layout. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, do insert new object, come down, and under general there is this tile map button. I'm just going to leave mine named tile map. I'm not really bothered about giving it a name. And then click on the screen and you'll see that this tile map comes up. This is like a default one that's provided by Construct. There are ones that you can find online, but for now I'm just going to stick with this one. And you can edit these tiles to change how they look in case you wanted to create your own tile map. But I'm not going to do anything right now. I'm just going to press X, get rid of it, and you'll see that my screen is now highlighted in blue. Down in the bottom right, there's also this tile map tab. I'm going to go over and select that. Now, with the screen highlighted blue, that means that we've got our tile map selected and we can start editing it and drawing our tiles. So I'm just going to fill mine with this blank grass tile. I'm going to select the fill bucket tool. We've got these tools up here, so you can draw them individually or you can just fill them all in real quick. So I'm going to click to fill them in. And you'll see that we've got this like white border on the edge. So the way to fix that is you need to just extend your tile map size beyond the map. And then just click again and fill in those remainders so that we don't have any white borders on the edge of the screen. Right now, if you've noticed, our player is now behind our tile map. So if I just select this mouse button, you need to select this mouse button to be able to like interact with the game objects again and start selecting things. So make sure you've got this mouse button selected. But if I just move that out of the way, you can see that my player sprite is below it. So the way to fix that is to come down here onto this layouts tab. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to insert a layer below. And I'm going to call this background. And then I'm going to select my tile map. And up on the left hand side under the properties tab, there's this layer option. It's currently set to layer 0, but I'm going to change it to background. Now, why is... okay. The reason why that's appearing like that is because we need to go back to this layer 0 and we need to change it to transparent. There we go. So layer 0, I'm going to rename that to foreground. In the free version of Construct, you only have access to 2, I believe. Let me have a... Yeah. You only have access to 2 layers. Now, when you get further into the course, we will give you a key to or like a seat so that you have access to the premium version where you get unlimited events and you get unlimited layers and things like that. But I want to use the free version for this tutorial series just to show you that you can still like do everything that's required and pass the course without having to ever pay for the more premium version. Going back to our tile map though, so we need to have it selected and then we can select the tiles. You can go in and do a bit of a design if you want, but I'm just going to draw something very basic. I'm just going to put in a few fence posts. And just have something kind of basic just so that I can demonstrate something to do with tile collisions. So, sure, there we go, that'll do. I'll put a couple more fence posts in. That'll do. Perfect. So, now that we've got a background in and we've got something on the screen, when I move the character around, you'll now see that the camera is moving with us. It was really hard to demonstrate that last time because we had a white background. But now that we've got something on our screen that's moving around, you can actually see that the camera is following our player. And then when you get to the edges of the screen, your character can sort of like, you know, the camera sort of stops following you around. It's pretty cool. Now, you'll notice as well that my character is moving through these fence posts, even though we gave it the solid behavior. And a reason for that is there's a couple of things that we need to do. So make sure you've got your mouse tool selected down here in your tile map. With the tile map selected, we're going to add a behavior. And that behavior is going to be solid as well. Now, if I just leave it like that, you're going to see that my player, I'm pressing my movement keys and it's not moving anymore. That's because by default, all of these tiles have collision enabled. If you select a tile and right click on it, you'll get these options for enabling and disabling tile collisions. You can enable all tile collisions or disable all of them. What I'm going to do is, with this one, this blank one, I'm going to click on that so it's highlighted blue, right click, and then disable selected tile collision, which means that these blank ones won't have any collision and you can just freely move around on them, but the fences, you'll be able to bump into them. So now I can walk around, but if I walk over to the fence ones, I can't move through them anymore. But I can walk inside and I can walk around, but now I'm bumping into things. Now, you may also notice that like there's a bit of a gap between my player and the actual fence post. So if you come down to your tiles, and I'm going to select this one. If you double click on a tile, you'll see it opens up that single tile in this editor, and you can go and like recolor this or do whatever you want. You could draw an entirely new tile. But on this left-hand side, on this panel down here, this bottom one lets you edit the collisions. And if you click on that, you'll see that we get these red squares in the corner. And that means that the full tile has its collision enabled. But if you take these and move them around, so if I move it so that it is just the fence post, so something like this. There we go. Now if I play, you'll see that my character is moving right up against that fence post without bumping into it. Now, you do need to do this for all of the tiles, because if you notice, there's still a gap between me and these top, these sideways fences, because I only edited the collision for that one tile. You can even kind of see, if you zoom in, you can kind of see like a blue border around that fence. It does highlight the collisions for you. But you would have to come in, and each tile that you want to change collision for, you'll have to come in and do that. You can also add in multiple like other collision points by right clicking. I think you right click one of these ones, and then you can add a point, so you can create like a more complex collision if you've got something else. So I'm just going to leave this like this, but then I'll show you with the corner fence post. So like down here, we'd have to have something like, try my best, it's a bit difficult to line it up. There we go. I think that's pretty decent, but you might want it where he can walk in this area. So I'm just going to add a point there, and then I can bring this down. And we've got a lot more of a precise collision there. Similarly, here, I'm going to add a point, and I'll add a point here as well. Might need to add one more. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So you'll see that like the collision for this top left corner fence is a lot more precise now. I can get a lot closer to it than I could before. Our character also has a collision box, which you can edit. So like, you might, you know, I'm not gonna go and do like a crazy complex thing. I'm not even gonna edit this because I can't bother. But you can come in and change this to your heart's content. But yeah, that's how we add a tile map. You can also, if you have your tile map selected, you can select multiple tiles. You can click and drag, and you can paint those in individually. So you can add like chunks of things. Add a few of these. I'm not going for anything pretty. I'm basically just adding this in so that we can actually see our character moving around the space. But you come in and go nuts with designing a map.